Ah, how its scent lingers in the air. Fear the old blood, they would say. But out here there's nothing to fear. No, go out there and hunt. Spill more of their blood. The old blood.
Thank you for joining me on another hunt. Sorry about that. I've been sick for a couple days now. I apologize. I don't know what that was about. Anyway, this is another Hunting Grounds episode. Welcome back. Today I'm going to do a little bit of a different thing. I don't think I've ever done like a proper cosplay in terms of characters or enemies that are actually in the game. I think this is going to be my first one, so this is just going to be one of the old hunters from the Old Hunters DLC. This is pretty much just a strength build. Pretty easy to make, nothing complex. Going to be rocking the Beast Cutter and the Boom Hammer. However, this was a very good opportunity for me to use these two in combination with each other for the purposes of the cosplay, of course. And I think that the thing that I expected is actually the thing that I encountered the most, which was the main issue from these two weapons. Is of course an issue that I had already known about, which is they are pretty slow and they are pretty much parry bait if you're fighting two human players that are constantly gonna gun spam you. It basically means that at some point, someone is going to parry you. And if you're gonna be rocking these two weapons specifically, you're not gonna have a backup cleaver or anything like that, you're gonna get parried and you're gonna have to hope that you were at full health and that you're not fighting a skill build that's gonna one-shot you. So here I switched to the hammer and I changed my hat because that is the hat of the hunter that has the boom hammer. I didn't go all the way with it. I was supposed to switch to my torch to complete the cosplay, so to speak. But that is just too much of a risk. I need to keep my gun out with me at all times, for obvious reasons. But for the most part, I stayed pretty damn true to the cosplay. In fact, I put like a blood gem on my blunderbuss. I actually upgraded it. And I even put some bone marrow ash on it just to kind of simulate the type of gun damage that the actual enemies do in-game. And of course, you can't do that amount of damage unless you're rocking like a full blood tinge build, which this is not the case, of course, but you know, it is what it is, and it was pretty fun still. However, I was a little bit surprised at how effective it was to use the transformed version of the Beast Cutter, primarily because it is usually something that's easily avoidable. Like, you don't need to do a lot to escape it. Like, it has a long reach, of course, at the cost of being incredibly slow. I wouldn't say that it's like, I don't know, like Dark Souls 1 style of slowness, but it is on the slower side, of course. So again, fighting two human enemies is going to be either a challenge or not at all, as you can see. Some people are just not afraid of it at all, and they kind of just run into it and then they just die, which is kind of weird. Some people get overconfident, some people know exactly just what this weapon can do, which is, you know, them respecting the weapon and what it can do. So I kind of lure them on purpose to this hallway, just to kind of have a little bit of an advantage there. I'm getting hit pretty bad. Like, this host is actually doing like a lot of damage with that Holy Moonlight Sword. At that point, I see the little, what do you call it, Gravelord Nito's cousin, And I kind of want that enemy to kill them, because that enemy is absolutely ridiculous. As you can see there, he just kind of charged the host and killed them. And I survived with like 1 HP, which was hilarious to me. But that goes to show that the important part of the build is primarily, above your damage stats and all that, it's primarily going to be your vitality. So please, level up your vitality, even if you're not doing PvP. Just get some more HP, man. Just do it. Of course, I have the 10-15% HP up runes. That also helps. It makes all the difference in the world. If I had like a 5% with a 15%, I was just gonna die. That's all there is to it. I was gonna die in that situation. So yeah. In this case, I almost one-shot this guy for some reason, so he's pretty squishy. I'm not worried about it. I know that the host is somewhere around here. He's not doing like a whole lot of damage with that L2, which is a shame, because that's kind of like what you're supposed to be doing with the parasite. But I respect the fact that he's wearing like the student clothing and all that, so he's kind of rocking, you know, the arcane look and the arcane build, so that's always fun. He almost got me there completely, but I wasn't really afraid of him, to be honest, so I just kind of avoided it. Actually manages to hit me there with 1, which is surprising. He runs into my fucking R2. I don't understand some people. Like, they're just not afraid of certain weapons, and I think the boom hammer and the beast cutter is one of those weapons, or they are one of those weapons, rather. And people just kind of seem to literally run into you, because they're expecting like a slow-ass weapon, which they are, granted, they're both slow weapons. But they kind of forget that they're pretty high damage weapons as well. Like, they're no joke at all. And just because I don't have like enough levels to actually bring out the entirety of the damage that both of these weapons can dish out, doesn't mean that they're gonna underperform at all. Like, they're very damn good at what they do. So not much to say about the boom hammer, other than it's a hammer that goes boom. The R2 has extended reach if you prime the hammer, which is really good. It has more range than what you would think, because it is an explosion. I don't know what this guy was trying to do. And that running R2, by the way, actually also has like a lot more range to it than what you would probably expect from a weapon like this. It's better than the Tonitrus by far. Tonitrus is just one of those weapons, I've mentioned it before. It didn't click with me for the PvP. It just didn't. It wasn't working out. I was getting killed because of it all the time. Barely reached anyone. It wasn't good for R1 mashing back at people. If they were anywhere like that wasn't point blank range. So it was just not a good time. But the boom hammer, on the other hand, has more range, hits harder. It's not entirely dependent on having its buff up at all times. Look at here, I just kind of go for the co-opper, because the co-opper, I would say, is probably going to be your priority. Like, if you want to have like a proper long fight and like have the full invasion experience or whatever, I highly recommend to go for the co-opper first, host later. So right there, we're just gonna have a little 1v1, and really, with this character, I did have like my nerfed weapons, like my +6 boom hammer and my +6 beast cutter, in case of 1v1s, but I figured, you know, it's actually part of the cosplay that I actually dish out a lot of damage, because the old hunter enemies actually do that. They're incredibly high damage enemies, so why the hell not, you know? I did not have like far too many times where I felt that I needed to switch, so I just kind of didn't, but I still had them with me just in case. But it wasn't really a priority as much as with other characters. So I don't know if you've noticed, but I've been switching between the normal hat and the beast cutter, and then the top hat with the boom hammer. Entirely on purpose. I figured that doing entire invasions with one of those setups was gonna be a little bit more interesting than trying to switch mid-fight. Look at this thing right here. So I'm trying to chase down this guy who missed his shot, by the way. I'm trying to get rid of him, and look, I kind of chase him down with the R2, which is an amazing attack. I kill him. I'm trying to go for this other co-opper, but then the host kind of goes back into the fight. And at that point, you as an invader, you still did your job, because now the host has one less person helping him. You see there, I'm attacking even if he's gesturing. I don't care. We've been over this. I'm an invader. Don't gesture ever. I don't know how that auger didn't hit me, but that R2 is like absolutely incredible for catching people that dash backwards just out of reflex. So typically a transformed beast cutter sequence is gonna go like R1, you hit them, immediately throw out an R2, and if they dash back, well then too bad. They're gonna get hit. It was a beautiful thing to see, so stylish as well, and it's very brutal. It's just a brutal weapon. The old hunters were just hardcore badasses, showing the modern kids how it's done. So this one in particular, this one co-opper, was over leveled, and I want you to see the damage that he does to me with his Beast Hunter save. So the host kind of just kills himself. Look at the damage. Sometimes, if you know, he kills me, but at that point it's too late. He's obviously like level 100 billion, because he has the Evelyn and he has the Saif, and they're both doing damage. Sometimes if you know that a co-opper is just incredibly fucking ridiculously high level, and they have like the best gems or whatever, and they hit you and they take away like 45% of your HP in one hit, sometimes it's okay to try and avoid them and just go for the host, because the co-opper is just that much of a threat that it's not even worth it doing like a 1v1 with them, as you have a host in the background shooting you, and you know they're gonna get lucky, they're gonna parry you randomly, and then the co-opper is gonna one-shot you, and it's gonna be just a waste of fucking time. R1, R2, Beast Cutter, so good. So fucking good. Incredibly fun to land. At some point I just wanted to do that for the whole time. Like, how many of these can I land? And I can't blame them. The reflex is usually to just dash backwards to get away. But the Beast Cutter's range is just so much that it's just not going to let you. The main difficulties really of using these weapons, I hate Damien so much. I cannot express how much I hate this fucking asshole. But anyway, the main issues with these weapons, of course, again, is that you can easily get parried, which happened to me a bunch of times. Someone off screen just randomly shot me, and it's just a parry now. I want you to check this one out, though. He died. He actually died from that, and then Damien is just kind of gonna kill me because he's a fucking dickhead. And he has infinite bullets, and he has a cage on his head, and because he's just such smarty fucking pants with his infinite bullets. Fuck you, Damien, I hate you. But other than that, it was a very fun experience. Just not much else to say, I'm sorry, but the weapons are pretty simple, incredibly self-explanatory. They're both one-handed, which is amazing. It's a great advantage having your gun with you at all times. So try them out if you haven't. Let me know if you had fun with it. I'm gonna show you the rest of this. Not a long fight, but enjoy it anyway. And R1, R2. And thank you for watching. And I'll see you in the next one.